Welcome back to CNBC's Maritimes in a Day road trip. We've popped into the Halifax set of the award-winning CBC series MR.D. to catch up with PEI-born Truro-based actor, writer, director, producer, radio host, soon-to-be author, and all-around awesome guy, Jonathan Torrens, just to see what he's been up to.
Tags and I were at the Fred Rock Festival over the weekend, which was incredible. Your Hey Rosetta's and Plaskett Tree and what have you. Nice folks and
your
great
Jim
music.
Cuddy's.
Your Jim Cuddy's is.
He's some dreamy.
I'll tell you something. I chose my fork in the road a long time ago, but if I ever doubled back, Jim Cuddy might be my hall pass. And it's funny because Jim Cuddy's friends with Barney Bentall, and Barney has the same quality, like charming
and better as they age, like a fine wine.
Wears a pair of jeans and they fit where they hit, as Mother would say. And they, you know what they have in common? They're both cyclists.
Is that true?
Yeah,
as
both
is camera
bike.
guy Scott.
Oh, that's why. Because if you don't mind my saying.
Okay. We'll have to edit all that out.
That's how people get in trouble.
Totally. Okay, so let's get back to where the padded walls.
Yeah. So what I did is, for my studio, I went to Long and McQuaid, and I bought, the egg carton foam stuff.
Do.
And then I went back and I bought more.
Right.
And I bought a new mic because I thought it was maybe my mic.
Right.
And I got a chair and I made a thing. It's really claustrophobic, but I have a waiting room.
You're under the stairs.
I'm under the stairs.
You can't have guests
I had to
now,
move
so I
out.
think-
There was a bunch of construction materials that I had to move out. But on the weekend at Fred Rock, Taggart showed me his setup. Do you know what it is?
I can't imagine.
It's a little table that goes gujit, like it's 3 inches high just to set your phone on.
Yes.
And it's a mic that's an inch by an inch that he bought for $40. And he sounds like, hey, how's it going? Like deep and present and amazing.
What can you do? Can't you get that yourself?
It's like I need the cheap look, but I'm prepared to pay for it. That's what it feels like.
Well, I don't know, but it's funny. And I worry about you. Does the door close, or is it open behind you? Or
Well, what'll happen is my family comes home. If we're deconstructing this, the older I get, every decision I make is with the idea of never having to leave my home eventually.
it's like the compound.
Yeah, so I want to stay there. That's where
You know
the
what I
trailers
love?
from Rolling
And
are.
again, I don't know where I'm going to put this in the show, but I loved when you said about your door having a doorbell.
Yeah.
You and Carol. Oh my God.
When the guys were building our house, they said, where do you want the doorbell? And we were like, doorbell? That decreases our chances of pretending we're not home by about 70%. So we have basement drills, like we live on top of a hill in a farmer's field, and when we can see headlights, it's like, all right, girls, TV off, everyone to the basement. It's like a hurricane drill.
Oh my God, that is so funny. And
Well, tell the truth, as if you don't do that.
do it all the time. All the time.
It's hard because our house has a lot of windows, so we need to hide in the basement or we'll be seen.
Oh
We'll
my God,
see
that's so
and
funny.
be seen.
All right, which isn't so bad. Okay, let's get back to Fred Rock, because
Yeah.
I mean, what a festival. That's a festival city. You talk about Edmonton, that's your East Coast festival city.
Fredericton is a great town,
Yeah.
and I grossly underestimated how much training I would have to do before I got there as far as being able to keep up with the folks. They go hard.
So that's just one tiny moment in your crazy, crazy world. So run us down, because we haven't talked to you about Game On,
No,
which
it's
is
true.
amazing.
It's true. Samantha B. formerly of The Daily Show and I play sportscasters who narrate and observe the everyday coming-of-age gaffes of a 14-year-old boy.
How bad is it?
I feel like I can't even watch. Like I'm averting my eyes.
Okay, that is totally horrible.
Toby is going, and he's over the wall.
According to body language experts, that's girl talk for I don't like you.
This is good. This is good.
I mean,
And it's pretty cute. She's a wonderful person, and she's really funny and very kind and gracious, and we really...
is it all ad-libbed, I wonder, watching it? Is some of it, are
Well,
you coming up with it?
from a
or-
writing standpoint, because the kid can't say what he's feeling,
Right.
he can't say like, oh, I'm embarrassed, there's the mother of the girl I like.
Right.
A lot of that traffic cop stuff has to come from us.
Yes.
So that stuff is all scripted, but
Okay.
the ins and outs from commercials and suggesting there was a backstory and suggesting there might still be tension, or one of us wants to get back together, the other doesn't,
Right.
that stuff is all stuff that we just kind of meandered into.
Right. Oh, fun.
It was directed by Jacob Tierney,
Nice.
who directs Mr. D.
Right.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah. Okay. That's the chemistry. Okay. And Mr. D, season 5, rolling right along.
Rolling right
Right.
along. We're so happy. I mean, in this industry, in this country, in this region at this time.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful to be working. And as I always say, when I get to sleep in my own bed at night, that's a real victory.
And winning awards.
Well, yeah.
Like,
But I
really
can only confess how much it meant to win them if I preface it by saying, I think there was one year at the Geminis in particular where I lost 5 times in a 24-hour period, and by the end of it, it was like the winner is anyone but you, anyone else but you. And as my wife would say, if you were nominated, you already won.
Yes,
that is a victory.
I agree with that.
And I admire her spirit, but it's also simply not true. So to actually hear my name called was
Amazing.
a real thrill.
And you looked spectacular.
Thank you very much.
And is it true that Trailer Park is wrapped for the season?
Yeah, we finished our 10th season for Netflix. There were some pretty high-profile visitors.
Yes. Can you drop? You can. Yes, because they were in the news.
I think it's out. Snoop Dogg was there, and Tom
Yes.
Arnold was there.
Tom Arnold.
And Doug Benson, who's a comedian who bases much of his act around some things that he smokes that you can't get at the Circle K. They were all there. And
Right.
the kind of nice thing was, as I've said before, the challenge of writing a show in its 10th season is that, particularly with this show where fans are so diehard, if you take the guys out of the park, people kind of buck against that.
Right.
If you bring new blood in, it often doesn't work. It feels contrived somehow.
Yes.
So this was, in particular with Tom Arnold, a real chance to have a new gear on the show, one we've never had before, because
Right.
he was like, this
Well,
place
what-
is awful. It's even worse in real life than it looks on TV. And we've never had that kind of unbridled enthusiasm before.
Right. Oh, very good. Was that on camera then?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was.
Awesome. All right.
And same thing with Snoop. His manager, who's from London, Ontario, said he doesn't really stay in one place longer than a day or two, and he was in Truro for almost a week and just
Wow.
loved it.
wow.
Was the first guy on
T-Dot.
set the day that he started
Yes.
and knew all his lines
so
and was
total
happy to be there.
professional and
He just kept saying, "This is crazy." That's what he was saying over and over again. And a couple of Snoop's friends apparently really liked the show, so it was kind of a coup for him to be able to
Right.
be here.
yes.
Yeah, it was neat.
That's awesome. Okay, so now have we covered it all? I just want to. Oh, here's one of the things I want to circle back to TNT because you keep saying, "Oh, we're coming. We're gonna come." You did this like little intimate gathering in Toronto.
Yeah.
What's the deal now with the road trip?
This podcast has been such a learning experience for me since it started because I didn't really understand what podcasts were.
Okay.
And because of my background, I like to produce things. I like to know we'll have a guest. I mean, you can relate to this.
Right.
I want to do a top 5 here. I want to have a thing here.
Right.
It seems like the less we do, the more authentic it is as a podcast.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So when we just hit record and talk,
Yes.
that seems to be what people
It's
dig.
magical.
Stream of consciousness kind of stuff. And
It
we're filling
is.
a hole with Canadianity that we didn't even know existed.
I know.
So we did a
Beloved.
live show at the Canadian Music Week,
Right.
and we weren't even sure that it would work, like if it would translate or if it would seem like
It
you were.
went in a blink, I think. I
It
don't
went
even
really
know
quickly.
if it was. Yeah.
And so we played some of our games like Hit the Post and Poem Saying live, and they really translated well.
Yeah.
So we are in the process of putting together a tour across the country this fall.
Really?
Yeah.
And cameras will follow.
I don't know.
Oh, come on. You need a truck or some sort
I
of
don't know.
like.
But again, because I'm
Oh, you're so busy.
No, it's not that.
Oh.
I'm so unsure of what podcast purists would have or want that I don't want to overshoot the landing on the social media runway.
I hear ya.
Because I always thought that the podcast would be like, obviously that's with the end game of getting a radio show, but these podcast purists are like, no, that's
No,
limiting.
Right.
Because you have to listen to that Wednesday from 8 to 10. We want to
Right.
download 6 episodes and listen on the way to the cottage.
This is it. Okay, now, so you bring me back to another point of your busy schedule, and that is this Talk 1010. Is that right? Am I getting
Yeah.
that radio station
News
right?
Talk 1010.
News Talk 1010.
Which is Taggart and Torrens host a show every Thursday night on News Talk 1010, which I do from Truro.
Okay, I wondered. I was
have
like,
a
oh, we can't
key.
see him Thursday because he's out of town.
I have a key to Big Dog and Cat Country,
Wow.
and I go there by myself with a pot of coffee at 11 p.m.
Do you?
and talk on the radio for 2 hours about all the issues pertaining to Toronto.
Nice.
It's kind of a cheat.
I love that. Well, no, that's good, though, because it keeps you in the homeland.
Well, the idea is they're going to send me the technology so that I can do it from under the stairs,
Stop
which feels like
it.
really winning.
Right. Especially if they pay for your egg carton
Yeah.
refurbishment when
Well,
you need it.
except I'm going to have to keep my voice down because Mother's upstairs sleeping with the children.
Oh, right. It is late.
It is
right?
late. 11 to 1, it's really
And
late.
you get some crazies calling in. How are you dealing with that now?
I guess we answered
there
the
a
question, who's
filtration, or-
listening at 11 o'clock Thursday night. It's drunk people.
Oh, and me.
It's drunk people.
I'm working listening
By the way,
to you.
thank you for listening to the podcast.
Oh my God, I love it.
It's a big deal.
It's hilariously funny. And you're right, though, when it's just you guys talking, because you get scoop.
Well, it seems like Tales from the Road, and what people seem to enjoy a lot is that I get taken advantage of as a consumer. I don't know if it's especially funny because I was
And
on
car
Street
trouble.
Sense. Car trouble in a big way.
Oh my gosh. Now, and you could just make money on merch.
For TNT?
Yes.
Oh, I should have brought you an I'm a Bod t-shirt. I have an I'm a Bod t-shirt for you.
Do you?
Yeah.
You're just saying that now.
No, I don't.
Don't
And
get
I have,
my hopes up.
We have a fake radio station t-shirt for I Rock the Cock.
Can't wear that
COQK.
one.
Why?
No, but I will take the I'm a bod. I was a buddy out there fishing the other day, tweeted that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bod.
Um,
I'm a bod.
BAHD. People often ask, what is this bad?
I didn't.
It's bod. How you doing, bod? For some reason, people like it's bodism. It's a religion.
It's so good.
Did
Canadian.
I tell you we're writing a book for HarperCollins
See?
called Canadianity? It'll be released in the fall of 2016.
You make sure meatballs is in there. I don't think you talk enough about meatballs.
The movie
Yes,
or the food
the
item?
movie. No, I don't care much for that, but I love the movie. To
You
me,
know,
that is summer
remember when
in
Ivan
Canada.
Reitman did the first Trailer Park movie? He produced it.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
But meatballs is, to me, that's summer in Canada.
That
right?
is Canadianity.
Hey?
It's true. We got an email. I mean, we didn't even really realize.
If you let me. Come on. No, you don't remember it?
No.
I could be your good friend. I know that if you let me, we could walk together.
I thought you were going to break into song. You're really good with that.
No, I don't know that
Who
one.
did you sing the other day? And I was just, do Corey Hart, and then I'll let you go because I know you're very busy.
Oh, but it has to be.
In context?
Has to be
Oh, you're all right.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, no.
Because it was on Red 45 vinyl, remember? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had the very shiny nose. And if you ever saw him, he might even say it close. For some reason,
Oh, my God. And at the Junos, just tell me if I won. Just do
Aw.
that, and I promise I won't.
I was working as a writer on the Juno Awards, and it was the afternoon of the show.
Sorry, I'm holding the mic
And
off
Corey
I'm
Hart
laughing so hard.
came over and said, just tell me if I won. I was like, what do you mean? He said, my wife's homesick. Just tell me if I won so I can go home. He didn't want to stay if he didn't win. He wanted to go home, and he thought that I might know. But the net out of that anecdote is that he speaks the way he sings.
Right.
Just tell me if I won. I didn't know. I was like, Corey Hart, I don't know if you won.
Oh, my God. Now you know what I
By
look
the
like when
way,
I'm listening to the
He
podcast.
did not win. It was in the year 2000. He did not win, but I think Leonard Cohen won.
Which, Canadian icon, if you're going to
Yeah.
lose to anybody.
But Leonard Cohen started his acceptance speech in typical Canadianity fashion by saying, only in this country could I win Best Male Vocalist of the Year. And he's not wrong. It was quite a crop that year.
Right.
Some Lightfoot, some Adamses.
Okay, I gotta let you go, but we could talk forever. Is there anything new coming up that we haven't talked about? Probably, right? There's books, there's radio shows,
I
there's
don't think
television
so.
programs. How about a movie? You got a movie going on? What's going
Yeah,
on?
I'm working on writing a movie with Megan Wenberg, who is an emerging director and writing talent from this part of the world.
Nice.
She was the story editor on Trailer Park Boys, and we're working on a full-on romantic comedy in the spirit of War of the Roses.
Oh my gosh, I love that movie.
Yeah, like two people who love to hate each
Oh
other.
my gosh, I love that movie.
Yeah, it's good.
I love that. Danny DeVito was
Will you tell me where you're going and why?
I'm on a road trip, and we got to go. He's like, get on the road.
Where are you going?
Well, okay, here's where we started in Lunenburg. We saw the Blue Nose Pullout.
How nice.
Majestic, right?
Yeah.
And then we went all up the South Shore. We stopped here to pick up Dave Gunning in the city, the new city, and to see you.
Nice?
Yeah. And now we're heading to New Brunswick. We're going to covered bridges because love covered.
Because you have to, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you see the bridges in Madison County?
No, but I read the book a long time
Did you
ago.
cry?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're going
Yeah, I
to.
cried that I wasted 2 weeks of my life reading that book. Is that what you meant?
And then we're going to Prince Edward Island, and we're ending up at the inn at Bay Fortune.
Oh, amazing.
I know, right? To see Chastity Smith, who
Oh, perfect.
Michael's wife, and
The executive producer of Trailer Park Boys was just going to PEI, and I suggested that they stay at the Inn at Bay Fortune.
Yes.
Because it's a beautiful part of the world. And do you know what song I was just singing?
No.
If you say no to Montreal and yes to Montague, your island through and through. That's Ann and Gilbert now
Yes.
playing in Summerside.
Right.
Here are some snacks.
For the road.
If you like carrots in your stew, your island through and through. And what's the other one? Oh, this is my favorite part. If you mind your business and you mind your neighbors too, your island through and through.
Ladies
And then they dance
gentlemen-
like
oh,
this.
there's
I'm going to
more.
dance off.
Okay.
There's your snacks,
God,
2
love
suckers,
ya.
2
You're
caramels,
sweet.
and 2 things of trail mix.
What did you have for Scott?
This is what happens. That's to share with him. This is how they dance in Ann and Gilbert. You ready? Your island, you're from Prince Edward Island, your island.
We gotta go.